We've had a good amount of Spider-Man and X-Men films over the years. Some of them have dazzled us, others have made me want to down bleach. But two of these films have stayed with me for well over a decade now. Films that have not only impressed on a technical level, but an emotional one. Strap in for a nostalgic overload, full of slow motion action, cat-licking excitement, and enough leather outfits to even make the Matrix say, "That'll do, pig. That'll do." It's Spider-Man 2 vs. X2 X-Men United on Movie Feuds. I'm a simple man. I like to see bad guys get punched in the face, preferably by colorful characters with epic music accompanying them. I get my money's worth from both of these. X2 opens with one of the most iconic moments from the franchise. We're introduced to newcomer Nightcrawler as he whips around the White House in a flurry of acrobatic assaults. Secret Service agents are tossed wildly into the air, manically firing their guns in a state of panic, and Alan Cumming's character quickly becomes a fan favorite, before never showing up again in future films. Now, as awesome as that sequence is, Spider-Man 2 says, "Hold my train." The high-speed fight between our web-slinger and Doc Ock is cinematic gold. Not only is the fight masterfully choreographed, but the blending of CG and practical effects work is truly mind-blowing stuff. When Spider-Man is not trying to catch a train, we can witness him deliver pizzas.
Pizza time.
Save his aunt from falling off a clock tower. Chuck a little kid around a burning apartment. Dodge a flying car. Show Mr. Incredible how to stop a train without getting sued afterwards. Show up for the final boss battle. And even ride an elevator. Why would we end on that one?
It rides up in the crotch a little bit too.
It's exciting stuff. X2 sees the action and raises it a middle finger. There are mutants fighting all over the damn place. It's a pun. Subscribe. We have Wolverine versus Lady Deathstrike. Storm versus the Air Force. Cyclops versus nobody, because he gets his ass handed to him both times he attempts a fight. Poor James Marsden. I still like him though, haters. Logan going on a murder spree to protect the school children is probably something that should be turned into a full movie. Director Sam Raimi gets bonus points for injecting some of his Evil Dead roots into the operating scene, but pound for pound, X-Men puts up a bit more fight, giving it the round. As I wake up and saunter on over to the mirror and take a good hard look at the guy staring back at me, I've come to the realization that everything in this world ages, oftentimes poorly. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that Spider-Man 2 and X2 haven't put on a few rough miles, but at the same time, they still hold up incredibly well. Raimi definitely infuses more style into his film, with those trademark fast zoom-ins, crazy camera angles, and punchy colors, which to some will come off as campy. To me, it comes off as personality. Bryan Singer plays things more traditionally with more locked camera shots and less crazy spectacle. What X-Men lacks in a spider cam flying all over New York City buildings, it makes up for in mutant abilities. We have tornadoes getting conjured up, fireballs being thrown, a dude turning into metal, another dude manipulating metal, a third dude having metal bones. Metal is a big deal in this universe. There's telekinesis, Kyle, telepathy, laser eyes, hungry eyes, ice walls, iced tea, ice cube, vanilla ice. Sorry, I lost focus. X-Men has plenty of variety, I guess is the point I'm making, and the talented animators, puppeteers, stunt coordinators, and snack table attendants didn't miss a step bringing all this to life. And feeding the cast and crew. There is truly something special though when watching Spider-Man swing high above the city streets and passing 57 American flags. Toby's gonna take this one. We have ourselves a cavalcade of stars here, gang. X-Men brings us a heaping helping dose of top shelf talent. There's Huge Jacked Man, Cloudy with a chance of African accent, Alan Cumming, then going, Gazer Beam, Not a Bird, Not Yet a Phoenix, Professor X Gonna Give It To Ya, much better than Jennifer Lawrence, Magnet Man, Sub-Zero, Rogue without any of the interesting powers, animated series reference, Scream Queen, And I'm the bad guy in every movie I've ever been in ever. Spider-Man in no way, shape, or form can possibly compete with the sheer amount of quantity on display. So it's gonna have to stick with quality, I think. Let's see how it fares out. Of course, we have the man of the hour, Tobey Maguire, aka Bully Maguire, aka Walking Internet Meme. His portrayal of Peter Parker and Spider-Man have had many a fan debates over the years. Is that a sentence? Well, we'll keep going. I'm personally in the camp that loves him, truly, madly, deeply. It's a Savage Garden reference. Subscribe for Savage Garden. So it was a song. That was a band. Tobe's crew includes the on-again, off-again girlfriend, Mary Me Watson, his BFF, Green Goblin Jr., Ghost Uncle Ben, and the definitive Aunt May. I believe there's a hero in all of us. You know what? Let's show the clip instead of what I just did.
I believe there's a hero in all of us.
Omni-Man kills it once again as J. Jonah Jameson, and Elizabeth Banks is always nice to see, even if her role was nothing more than a consolation prize for not landing the gig as Mary J. Watson. That's a true fact. She tried out for that role but was deemed too old at the time. Not for me, Elizabeth. Certainly not for me. Bruce, Hail to the King, Baby Campbell, along with a handful of other celebs, make some great cameos throughout. Alfred Molina as Dr. Octavius was great casting, and I highly recommend you check him out in the movie Maverick if you haven't. We have a great cast all around, but X-Men has two legends with Sir Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen. I'm certainly going to give this round to them. Holy shit, that was bad. Let's conclude. Based on the criteria I pulled out of my ass for this feud, X-Men takes the win, right? What if I would have had music as a category? Then I would have given it to Spider-Man. What if I would have focused on comic accuracy? There's definitely a debate to be had there. Wolverine's certainly not wearing that beautiful tight yellow spandex, is he? That said, I have always reserved a special place in my empty cavity where my heart once resided for X-Men 2. And that hasn't changed. Although, as I have aged horribly, Spider-Man 2 has somehow only gotten better. My winner was, and still remains, X-Men 2, but that's not the final verdict, because I poll my audience every single time I do one of these on my YouTube community tab, and they beg to differ with the final results. Here they are. As of this recording, X2 received only 18% of the votes, making Spider-Man 2 the true winner with a staggering 82%. Do I think those results are fair? No, absolutely not. But I won't discredit Spider-Man 2 in the slightest. These are both fantastic films. Do you agree with me or with the final verdict? Please let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe if you had a good time. Thank you for watching. I'm Adam, and this is more than just reviews. This is Movie Feuds. You're still here. Well, in that case, did you know I have a whole... Here we are. We're live, hopefully. Got the audio going, got the camera going. I'm a little dark here right now. A little bit better. I kind of adjusted the placement of things, and it's really been... I'm late now because I've been messing with it too much. Got too much time on my hands, I guess. Which is a song by Styx. Today we are going with the timeless Mountain Dew, America's sweetheart. It's fueled gamers for years and years, and it will continue to for years to come. I should point out this is an aged Mountain Dew. It's been in the car for several days. You can taste it too. It's the taste you can taste. Let's check the comments before I dive in and make sure things are actually happening for us. I want to make sure the audio is good. Live and good audio, says Bubba. So we are off to the races right out of the gates. I want to make it known right off the bat that super chats are a thing that really help the channel. So as I'm talking, monologuing, ranting, trying to entertain you for the next hour or so, feel free to throw a super chat in with a question. And at the end of each one of these live streams, I answer them. That's how this works. Or if you just feel bad, you can throw a super chat in as well. That's fine. I should point out that Brian Davis, he gets a tip of the hat. He's been going in after the fact and leaving a super chat of like $10 on almost all the lives I've done. So thank you. Thank you, sir, for that. That's very generous. All right, we have a fun show. We're going to be talking about the early reactions to Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. It's a 2-part Spider-Verse situation. Into the Spider-Verse, now we're on the second movie, which is a 2-parter. It's a little confusing. They changed the name slightly. Now it's a 2-parter. It's Hollywood. That's what they do. We're going to be looking at those for better and for worse. I'm guessing they're going to be mostly positive because of the early reviews, the early sneak peeks. We're then going to be looking at We're then going to be looking at Across the Spider-Verse movie posters. I'm going to be breaking them down as best as I can. And then I have some fun YouTube comments to react to. I did it wrong on the last live. I foolishly was just kind of going through them, and they're usually filtered by top comments, which are always nice to me. The real gold to be mined, the real gold to be unearthed, is in the YouTube shorts. Those are the videos where you get the good chestnuts. Those are the strangers that are watching the 45-second video and they have just enough time to say, screw you, Adam. Screw you, stranger. You suck. That's where I want to be. Let's dive into it. There's already a $2 super chat from Ray Gunner Gaming. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ray Gunner Gaming. Keep on gaming. Keep on running. Keep on rating. Really. It's really what it comes down to. Let's bring up the browser. Well, that's just me. Where's the rest of it? Now there's 2 of me. What the fuck? Oh no. I had this all set up. What went wrong? Okay, well, get rid of the one guy. Okay. Shit. I had this figured out. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay. It could have been worse. It usually is. All right, here are the reviews. We have Variety has nicely given us some of the top minds collected together in a pool of reviews, early reactors, that, let's be honest, I have a hard time trusting because these are the guys, typically the same outlets every time. As we go through these, as we go on this journey together, we're going to see a lot of familiar faces from the Transformers early reactions. We'll see these same faces on Indiana Jones. Doesn't mean that they're not honest. It just means that they're in the press pool. Okay, we're going to slide down the page. The first reactions are in for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, with critics and journalists saying the film is an actual work of art, while also darker and sadder than expected. I did preemptively look at these, folks. There's no spoilers. Let's jump into it. Sean O'Connell says, okay, all caps. Hashtag Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse lives one step above masterpiece. It's an actual work of art. Hence the quote that we saw above. Every frame deserves to be hung in a museum. The jokes and nods to Spidey lore are perfect. It's outstanding! The best Spider-Man movie might be my favorite movie ever. Cherish it. Oh my god. His favorite movie ever? Folks, we might be experiencing greatness in just a few days because Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse comes out on Thursday. We might be seeing the greatest movie ever created ever. Either that or Sean O'Connell has only seen like 5 movies in his existence. I have a hard time believing it might be the best movie. Well, it's his favorite movie ever. I apologize. Sean can have his opinion. We'll have ours come this weekend. Very high bar so far. Okay, THR writer Brian Davids teased that Across Spider-Verse is darker. Well, we don't need to have the preamble. All right, Brian Davids says, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is yet another resounding win for Lord Miller produced universe. Haley Steinfeld, not to be confused with Jerry Seinfeld, Haley Steinfeld really comes into her own as Gwen Stacy, and her scenes with Shea Wingham's Captain Stacy are truly special. It's darker and sadder than I expected, but necessary. Okay. It's sounding good so far. Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes writer Tessa Smith says from Mama's Geeky. Okay, I've seen this woman before. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse raised the bar with its unique animation style and way of storytelling. Minds were blown when it was released, and fans thought there was no way it could be topped. Think again, motherfucker. She didn't say that, I added that. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse raises its own bar, which seems impossible. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse raises its own bar? That does seem impossible. What does that even mean? It raised the bar set by Spider-Verse previously? I mean, that does seem possible. Okay, yeah, we're okay there. Oh, she follows up with more. There are shocking twists, unexpected surprises, and a story that truly makes sense for the crazy multiverse world that we have all jumped headfirst into. The new Spider People are all amazing. Across the Spider-Verse never feels its length. Oh yeah, the movie's like 2.5 hours long. It's 2.5 hours of greatness, right? Okay, Uproxx writer Mike Ryan says, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is, not surprisingly, terrific. It's a bigger story, spread out over this movie and next, but it's still about Miles just wanting to be accepted for who he is. There are a lot of Spider People in this movie. I laughed out loud like 8 times. I understand it's a tweet. But that's tweeted out like my 11-year-old son would write something. There's no lead into the laughing. He didn't say, this is also a really funny movie. I laughed like 8 times. He goes from Miles wants to be accepted to I laughed out loud like 8 times. It doesn't really flow. Again, I know it's a tweet. There's limited characters. Just a little weird. Just a critique of the reaction. Okay, Ezzy, I don't care. As much as I wanted to love Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it fails to come close to where the original is for me. Mainly due to the fact that it prioritizes fan service over a strong story. It truly feels like the first entry in a 2-part story and gets predictable as it ends. Okay, tough words for Ezzy. It fails to come close to the original. So this is quite a bit worse for this individual. It doesn't raise the bar at all, like Mama Geeky said. In fact, it lowered the bar like way down. It didn't even come close to the previous bar. So where is this fucking bar at? I don't know. But I'll be at the theater, day fun. Drew Taylor says, hashtag Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is a stunning achievement. Yes, it's visually dazzling with expressive new realms. Gwen's World is my favorite. But the movie's real superpower is its emotional depth and its beautiful melancholic tone. Melancholic. I love this movie so much. Melancholic? I've never heard that word before in my life. We might have learned a new word today, and I'm going to start using it. Melancholic. Melancholic. Feeling or expressing pensive sadness. Yeah, like melancholy. Okay. Melancholic. I'm going to start saying it. Steven Weintraub. This guy I've seen all over the place on Twitter when it comes to the movie stuff. Absolutely loved Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Wanted to push pause about 100 times to study the incredible artistry on display. Cannot recommend this film enough and already looking forward to seeing it again. Next time in IMAX. Why didn't you see it the first time in IMAX, Steven? Andrew says, Across the Spider-Verse is yet another milestone for animation. Yes, it's gorgeous and visually mind-blowing, but this sequel surpasses the first for always putting Miles and his family front and center. Spider-Gwen also rightfully steps deeper into the spotlight, co-owning the film. And lastly, Mara says, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is excellent. Every frame is beautiful and made me want to freeze time so I could look at it more. Plus, there are very funny surprises that I liked a lot. This is another one that's, oh God. Plus, there are very funny surprises that I liked a lot. It's so bad. That's just very amateur writing. Not very melancholic at all. Okay, my takeaway on these reviews. Take them with a grain of salt. I'm a huge fan of Into the Spider-Verse. Probably my favorite Spider-Man movie. It's definitely up there. I'd say Spider-Man 2 is still my number one. Into the Spider-Verse is right up there. So this one, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little worried by all the spider people that they have going on in this thing. I am also very sick of the multiverse already. It's a very cool concept that impressively got lame very quickly in the MCU. I understand this is the Sony universe stuff. It's not tied to the MCU. However, I don't know. The trailers did not impress me for this movie. There's a lot of color to the point where it's almost too much color. I do have confidence in this team because they gave us the previous entry. Supposedly they even have more tricks up their sleeve when it comes to the animation and the art style. And there's probably going to be a ton of variety in this film. And we're probably not seeing a whole lot from the trailers, hopefully. And they're just putting kind of the loud stuff up front. Because the prettiest parts for me in the first film were when he's just out in the streets at night. And they're just using color theory perfectly there, where he will jump over a car and you'll get that quick pop of color, but then it's back to a realistic world. Because we're already jumping through the multiverse, we're probably going to get a little bit of disconnection from things in reality, which can make it hard to really relate to anything happening. Even though it's animated, it's still, you need a little bit of connection to something. Miles is obviously the glue here. And if what they're saying is true, and there still is a very strong focus on him and his family and his story, then great. I just don't want it to get sidetracked a lot, and I don't want to get it too messy. But yeah, I'm going in cautiously optimistic for this one. 2.5 hours long? That is a very long time for kids to sit in a movie. Very long time for kids to sit in a movie. This is clearly skewed more towards teenager and adult, which makes me very happy. It'll hopefully have a very mature theme and feel to it, while still having some fun in the process. We'll see. Apparently it has a melancholic vibe, and I'm happy about that. I love a good melancholic vibe. Oh, God. Okay, well, those are my thoughts going in. I will be seeing this movie Thursday night. Actually, I'm hoping to see it Thursday early afternoon, assuming I can get caught up. I can get all my day job stuff done, get up early and get my 8 hours in. Hopefully I can take the kids to a somewhat early movie showing, and I can get back and review this bad boy and put it out Thursday night. Spoiler free, of course. I'll do a spoiler one on the weekend or on Monday. But yeah, we're going to be going, me and the two kids. They are very excited. I'm excited. cautiously excited. But yeah, the first one's fantastic. I can only assume this one will be as well. Let's jump into... Actually, why don't I check the chat out, see what people are saying really quick. First Spider-Verse was amazing. How quickly... Yeah. Okay, mostly just piddly conversation. It doesn't concern me. Let's move on to the next topic, which is going to be the Across the Spider-Verse posters. Now, if I played my cards right, which I rarely do, I should just be able to push this and we will see the first poster show up. It looks like it worked. Cine Material, this is a place I googled for movie posters. It seemed to work very well for me. I don't like that they have the transparent bar along the top because it does cover up some of that poster. Now, I am a web designer and developer by trade, so I do know a magic trick where I can actually inspect an element using a tool I have called DevTools, and I can actually go in here and say, let's display none on that top bar. And and now it's just disappeared. It's disappeared. So we get to see a little bit more. Of course, I'm going to have to do this on every page, and I'm probably not. I just wanted to flex that little bit of skill that I have there on making a bar disappear on a website. If I refreshed, it would come back. Anyway, here's a poster for the movie. Hopefully it's showing up okay on there. You don't get the full frame, which sucks. I can kind of scroll down a little bit so you can see it. And then I'll scroll back up and we'll just work our way down a little bit. First impressions from this poster is it's vibrant, it's very wild. It reminds me of this second movie, which that's the part that's kind of scaring me, how crazy it is. It's like a Crayola box fell to the table and is just exploding with different colors. I don't hate this poster by any means. I don't love it either, though. The orange isn't... If I was like an orange fan, this would probably work better, but orange is like my least favorite color, probably. If we zoom in on this thing, though, I just have to point out the sheer amount of detail that are... You'll see this across the posters, across the Spider-Verse. The amount of detail on these things are just great. Just look at Miles' hair, how the shadows and lights are bouncing off of this thing. It's insane. And all the different spider characters in the background, I don't know any of them outside of, there's a spider cat. I'm sure that's not the name. Well, maybe it is, actually. I don't see Spider Pig, Spider Ham. But look at all these guys. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't even count them all. There's so many. Is that the Spider-Man from the, that looks like the armored spider dude from Infinity War. Someone knows all of these characters. And there's our Peter from the first movie. He's now got a spider child with him, looks like. Maybe Madam Web over there. I really don't know. I really don't know. Across the Spider-Verse at the bottom has a cool little ripple effect going on, a little in and out font treatment going on. Yeah, I don't have much to say. It's a drawing, like it's a really good polished drawing. Not much to say there. It does feel like it was sat down at a table and illustrated, which is great because I know it wasn't. It was done in a program and then they, put it into Photoshop and saved it out or whatever they're using. I know for the Into the Spider-Verse movies and the sequels, Sony has developed a series of different animation tools and 3D rendering programs to do these things. They're not 2D. There's 2D elements, but the whole thing is very much 3D. It's a 3D film with a lot of 2D animation incorporated. There's a lot of great behind the scenes on these things. I highly suggest just doing a YouTube search for how they made Into the Spider-Verse. It's pretty awesome. A huge love letter to traditional 2D animation married with modern effects. It's really cool. The thing that they're really big on is using different frame rates for the movie. So traditionally, you do 1 frame per second. So 24 frames is 1 second to film. So what that means is, for instance, if I wanted to animate my arm going up just like this, we'll say this takes 1 second, just 1. So when you animate, if you're doing 24 frames per second, 1 drawing, 2 drawing, 3 drawing, 4 drawing, 5 drawing, 6 drawing, all the way up to 24 to make this motion. Across the Spider-Verse uses 24 frames per second. It uses 12 frames per second. It might even use 3 frames per second. When they're using 2 frames per second, that means instead of 24 frames, 24 individual drawings to get here, it's just 12. Each frame is 2 drawing. I'm sorry, 1 drawing equals 2 frames instead of 1 drawing equaling 1 frame. So now it's a little bit choppier when you get up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get what I'm saying. They do this because it really makes for interesting animation styles. When Miles is in a frantic hurry, they might do 2 frames. They on the twos, they call it, where he's choppier. And they will even animate extra hands to make it, to do that motion blur. Instead of using the modern technique where you add in a filter that makes everything kind of blur and look cool, they will actually physically draw a second hand or a third hand to do that old school style. I think it's just fascinating. I'm sure I'm the only one right now. Yeah, okay. Let's move on to the next poster. This is insane. This is insane. This is a really cool poster. I love how Miles is upside down. The rest of them are straight up, saying, hey, he's a Spider-Man like the rest of these guys, but he doesn't fit in. He does not belong here right now. His world is flipped upside down, Fresh Prince style. He needs to figure it out. Great poster. I like that we have the white down below and then it leads up to Miles and you have that black silhouette image. Really makes him stand out, especially when you have all that noise behind him. They also faded all the characters in the background. Now, whether they put a filter over all of it and just drop the opacity, or if they just intentionally colored it later, doesn't matter. Either way, the look is there and it looks fantastic. If we zoom in on this bad boy, lots of different textures being added on top of this. I mean, there is so much detail on these. Look at this. Look at these different art print styles they're even doing. The different color grading. They have different textures going in on this. You have line art and you have, I can't remember the term. I cannot remember the term for the life of me. It's been a long time since I've done any sort of print work. But just to be sure, they're doing a lot of different old school styles here. Really cool. He has a nasty gash on the uniform too. Look at that. He got wrecked. This is a sweet one too. Okay, I like this. These colors work a lot better for me than the oranges did. I will say that right now. I'm really digging this kind of pink peach hue they got going. And look at all these characters again, jumping in and out. This one's got a bag on his head. I see Spider-Cat's back in the mix. Punk Rock Spider-Man. I think Punk Rock Spider-Man was in one of the Tony Hawk games. I think you could unlock him. Even the reflection in his eyes is sick. Look at the suit detail. That is unreal. Both of them. They both have the suit detail down to a fiber. This is really cool too. I like the Spider-Man logo, how they did this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, about 9 layers of the letters of each letter. So the S, you can see that there's the line art S, there's a blue and a red, and then you have the different layers of shadow underneath. And obviously you can just take this word into Illustrator or Photoshop, give it a drop shadow with no gradient or no blur. So it's just a harsh drop shadow. And you can just keep duplicating different colors of that, which is what I'm sure they did. And then they just give it different offsets, which looks really great. Then they also just inversed it, flipped it so it's just border only. And yeah, but even that isn't enough. Then they went the extra step and they added little bits of bleeding. The color bleeds off of the A. It bleeds off of really just the A. They just went that extra step to make a little bit of uniqueness on the letters. And you see the little TM in the corner, the little trademark. Yeah, this is just fantastic. Visually, this is going to be just, we'll be eating very well. All right, we got one more. This is Adobe Digital. The thing is, the Adobe Digital posters are really slick most of the time, but it sucks you have to have the Adobe Digital letters in there. I wish they would provide them without the letters, because this would be a sweet one for the wall. Very cool. Look at all these characters just kind of like climbing every which way, doing their thing. I don't have much to say about these anymore. They're all kind of following the same art style, but I did grab a couple later that are really cool. Okay, this is one of the Chinese ones. China, by the way, when it comes to poster design, all the way around is better. Every poster design from China looks so freaking good and way more creative than what we usually get in the American posters. This is just a great example of one of them. We have Gwen and Spider-Man falling. It looks like Miles is going to try to save her. They put them on opposite faces, which is interesting. Gwen almost looks like she's got a tear where Miles is at. And Miles is kind of longingly looking down at Gwen as she's falling away. I like the blue to orange hue they have going on. There's the upside down cityscape for her, and then it's straight up for Miles. There's just a lot going on, and I really like, what do we got here? Is this a window we're looking through? I'm not gonna lie, it reminds me of, kind of reminds me of the Two Towers thing. With Spider-Man, I always think back to the Twin Towers in New York, because it happened around the same time as Spider-Man came out. So this just reminds me of two very tall buildings that these two are trapped between a building and a hard place, really. This is my favorite Across the Spider-Verse poster. Another Chinese one. This thing is so beautiful. Look at the out of focus shoe they have here in the front. You got Miles in this sick outfit. Photos are it's chaos. There's a fucking Spider-Man horse in the mix. There's a business suit Spider-Man. Look at the hands going. It's just absolute pandemonium. And you got the one up front, like the paparazzi are on him and he's blocking the camera. Like, get out of here. This is just absolute insanity. Great use of negative space on the left-hand side. I can't read Chinese. I have no idea what that says over there, but your eye will definitely focus on that if it's a cool message. Then you have the Chinese logo down in the right corner. This works so freaking well. We view things right to left. So you're starting in the top of the hand. It's drawing you down. You're like going on a journey with these guys. You follow the guy falling, business Spider-Man, all the way through those letters on the left-hand side, and then you have Miles that pulls you back to the right for the Spider-Man logo. Brilliant poster design here, folks. Brilliant. Okay, this one's really cool. This is the last one we're going to talk about. It's inspired by a Chinese film, Journey to the West. It's something like that. I'm saying the name wrong, but Journey to the West, something equivalent to that. I did see this tweeted out by the illustrator of the poster, and he said that was his inspiration. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous poster. Highly creative. Miles in the middle. This is just rad. It's like a Where's Waldo painting. Look at all these characters. Kind of has a watercolor look to it. Sometimes there's just no words. You just got to appreciate the beauty. And that's what we're doing here today. Amazing, amazing Spider-Man poster. Wow. Color theory wise, I guess all I would say is you have oranges around all of it. You'll notice there's oranges coming off of the ribbon, oranges off of Gwen. it gives a very nice circular encapsulating. And in the center of that circle is Miles, and you'll see he also has orange coming off the back of him. It's almost a cape, I guess. Yeah, he's like a king. It's like a prince. It's all being tied together. Everything has kind of a round circular motion, drawing it all together. It's so good. And even how Gwen is reaching out to that other Spider-Man who's doing the kind of God Jesus thing, touching down from the heavens. It's pulling it all in. Very nice. I dig it. I just tried to drink my Mountain Dew with the cap on. I've been there many times. All right, as I break between sessions, friendly reminder if you're just joining, if you have a question for me, please do it in the form of a super chat and I will answer it for sure at the end of this little spiel. We have one more fun section, and that's reacting to some of the YouTube comments I've got on the YouTube shorts of recent. They're very fun. Very good stuff. So here we begin. Oh, actually, one final thing on Across the Spider-Verse. If any of you are really into animation, Open Color IO. This is open source, and this is from Sony. So they released this to the public. You can actually download and use this tool. I believe it's different. There are different plugins and filters you can apply to Adobe Animate and I don't think it's Premiere. Okay, After Effects, Autodesk, Blender. Yeah, different 3D modeling tools. You can use this for them. All right, let's get to the YouTube comments. This is on The Little Mermaid. This is a YouTube short. Yeah, Hallie looks all right. I loved this movie, all caps. Let me zoom in on this so we can see these a little better. I love this movie, says Wishbone83. Lord Ron says, I don't need the Arielicia, thanks. Arielicia, I assume that's some sort of masked racist comment. I don't. Corey says, you shouldn't give them money. Okay. I was actually going to attempt this, but may give it a miss. I love Scuttle, but can't stand who they cast for this film. Dino is right. Awkwafina was atrocious. Charlie says, man, Adam always looks so tired of dumb movies, it's hilarious. Kick Knowledge Smith says, as a grown man, I'm not the target, so I'm skipping it. If my wife and kid wants to see it, fine. John says, strong mermaid leads. And honestly, it's about time. Oh, by the way, if you're missing the cringe, I've said this on the last live stream. I will have a video out probably tomorrow or Thursday announcing the glorious return of Khaleesi Grimes 82 in the hit show, The Cringe. It was a skit show. They usually run about 6 to 8 minutes. They're going to be on Patreon at the $10 gold tier membership and on YouTube Join at the gold $10 membership. One new episode of The Cringe every single month. Already filmed the first one, in the process of editing it. That'll be out on the first, baby. Let's make it happen. Bishop Walter says, I have zero interest in this very lazy Disney live action remake trend. Sure, the Jungle Book remake was decent, but I only watched it once and it's still on the forgettable side. Bishop, fully agree with you. I really liked Jungle Book when I saw it. I've had zero interest to ever go back to that movie. I actually would dread having to watch it again. It was a very nice one-time watch, and I'm done with it. Same can be said for pretty much only that one. Okay, you know what? These are very nice reviews. I shouldn't say nice. They're very kind. I thought that this would be a lot more fun. Let's go to one that I know is a gem, and that is Fast 10. Fast X. Killer Teddy Bear says, I loved that movie, so keep your opinion to yourself. These are always my favorite because the person takes the time to comment on a video I made on my channel to tell me to keep my opinion to myself. I didn't like knock on his door and throw my opinion at him. I didn't hack into his computer and throw my YouTube short at him. It showed up. He could have easily just flipped past it, but he took time, or she, I guess, or she, to say, your opinion sucks. I don't want to hear about it. Bye. SM says, movie was fun, made sense, and they didn't say family 300 times. Don't listen to these temp reviewers. LOL, all caps. Temp reviewer, I don't even know what that means. Temporary reviewer? Been doing this shit for like 11 years, bitch. They did say family 300 times. I actually counted in the theater. I was like, family, 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 bad. A lot of family in that movie. A lot of dumb. By the way, in neither of my reviews did I say the movie sucked. Did I say not to see the movie? I just broke down essentially what you can expect from it. The script is very, very stupid. No one should be able to argue that. It is objectively stupid. The dialogue is ham-fisted. The characters have no emotions anymore. They're all older. None of them were that great of actors to begin with. The stakes are silly nonsense. You're going to this movie for loud explosions, over-the-top action, and some cool cars. Perfectly fine. Not one time did I say you're dumb for liking Fast and the Furious. I like a couple of them myself, and I didn't even hate this last one. I thought it was just really over-the-top garbage. But I like garbage sometimes. That's fine. But these people are just, they're so butthurt. And in this video, by the way, the 45-second short, I said, it's loud. They say family a bunch, 300 times. Obviously, I wasn't being, over the top. If you liked Fast and the Furious 1 through 9, you're probably going to like this one too. And there's a lot of cool action. That was basically the entire review. That pissed these people off. Science is not a factor. You should have gave up that since Furious 7. Skull, dead. Lord Bingus says I loved it. That's fine. Jared Robertson Studios. I'd love to know what studio shit you've put out, Jared. It's probably just you with your thumb up your ass for 2 hours. Yeah, critics are a joke nowadays because they'll bone lick one bad thing in a movie and call it a bad movie. Okay, thanks, Jared. That's irrelevant to this conversation. No one said it was a bad movie. A. Eric Schluhum says, nice cartoon. I see what he did. And that's all, folks. Well, probably not Fast 11. Yeah, there'll be more. Warren says, yeah, your opinion, though. Damn. That one stings. Musafer says, and they say Bollywood is dumb. Yeah. T.I. says, you're just a hater. I just saw it and loved it. These are ones I respond to. You are. I just like to do that once in a while. Okay, Justin Hathaway says, awesome movie. You're clearly not a car guy to bash it. Was a lot of fun, good storyline. Fuck. I love when it's just so stupid. Oh, awesome movie, period. You're, incorrectly said, clearly not a car guy to bash it, period. You are clearly not a car guy to bash it. That's not even a sentence. Was a lot of fun, good storyline. None of that's anything, Justin, you fucking idiot. No wonder you're into the fast movies. Sorry, that was a bit much. Seven Brush says, Mans is just sad he called it the 11th because you can't understand Roman numerals. I never called it Fast and the Furious 11, you freaking idiot. I said Fast 10 or 11, I guess, if we count Hobbs and Shaw. It was a kind of a joke of sorts, Little off the cuff, laissez-faire attitude. Wasn't really serious. But man's is just sad. Okay. I guess I was going to say he took the time to put the apostrophe S in, but then he also threw an is in there. I can let it slide. That was probably just some accident. Parker L says, yeah, if you haven't liked since the beginning, then this review means nothing. Crying. Still gave it a like. Oh, what? Okay. That was a plot twist. That was a plot. Look at this. Let me heart this. If you're judging it by how dumb it is, you're doing it wrong. It's supposed to be dumb. Okay? Again, in the video, I didn't say I hate it because it's dumb. I didn't say I hated it at all. Been checked out since Paul Walker's last one. Yeah, I think we all have. It's been a long day without you, my friend. Sorry, Aquafina showed up to finish it. Aquafina Scuttle jumped in at the end. The writing is cheesy, the acting feels like a sitcom, the CGI is lazy in some parts, but you will still watch it, so who cares, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Don't listen to this guy. And don't take my word for it. Listen to Kathleen. Listen to her, not to listen to me. Because she has butterflies next to her name. Purple VR. Hater. Just one word. Let's really get into this now. It's 1 a.m. on a Friday night. Purple VR is in her apartment. I guess a flat would be a more appropriate term. Nothing too extravagant there. She has her cats. She has a nice floor rug. It costs more than anything else in her apartment. She just really liked the fabric. The fibers felt good on her feet. She sat down after a hard day's work of watching reruns of That's So Raven. With a glass of Chardonnay, she sits at her computer. Rain. Tapping at the window. It's starting to come down hard now. Cat jumps up on the side of the computer. Calm down, Middens. It's okay. She strokes it lovingly. She brings up the YouTube shorts on her computer. She doesn't watch it on her phone like some common peasant. She brings up the desktop and does it. She finds it more nostalgic, more old-timey. She starts looking for reviews of Fast 10. Fasten your seatbelts, because she's about to go on a bumpy ride. Most of the comments are praising the film, some even saying it's the best, heralding it as the greatest action movie of all time. But then she stumbles upon some jackass, some dillweed, some ungrateful commoner, who walks out of the theater and says, Fast 10 is dumb. It's loud. It's got a silly story, nonsensical plot. But it's got a lot of action, and if you like the last ones, you'll probably like this one too. The nerve, the gall, to call me out like that, she says. And so she sits back, takes a drink, looks out the window. It's now pouring. The flower that she's been watering, caring for days is now overflown. The thing is completely dead. But she's not. And something erupts inside of her stomach, in her gut, a fire that ignites, a passion, an unbridled rage that she has to unleash. Middens is starting to get a little wily over there. She tosses him off. But she stays cool and calm and collect. Suddenly everything freezes around her. The world stops spinning on its axis. And it hits her. Like the greatest play hits a amazing screenwriter. Like a beautiful sonnet hits a conductor. And she composes the one word that she knows will fucking kill me, the content creator. And she puts it down. Hater. She logs off for the night. Goes to bed. with the comfort, the knowledge that I will see that comment at some point, hopefully when I'm at my highest spirits, and it will kill me. It will shatter me. It will take the legs out from under me. And it did. And it did. Well done, Purple VR. You won the internet. AD2AZ says, I'm literally at the theater watching Fast 10 right now. It's actually playing right now, and I'm on my phone watching it. This is wild. I can't believe this. What are the odds? Elijah says, you complaining the movie is not nice? Where is your own movie? Keep wasting your time hating, and they making millions producing nice stuff. Guess what? You even paid to go see Fast 10 in the theaters. You're just giving them money. Where's your Fast 10? Where's your Fast 10? Well, hand me $350 million, bitch, and I'll make it. Stupidest thing. That's the stupidest thing people can say. You try making a movie. You try making a movie. Okay. Okay, I will. Stupidest thing I've ever heard. You ever complained about a meal not tasting right? Should I just say, you try making a meal? Anytime you get something that doesn't come out properly. You ever complained about your fast food shitty chicken McNuggets not tasting? Why don't you make a chicken McNugget? You chicken McDick? Have you ever had a song come on the radio? You're like, oh, I hate this song. Why don't you make a song? Have you ever been in someone's car and you're like, oh, this doesn't ride very good? You try building a car. It's not easy. These people are stupid, man. Josh says, and this isn't really a movie meant to be enjoyed by critics, so stick to the ones that are? Rotten Tomatoes is going to look quite a bit differently if they just stick to the movies that are made for critics, whatever that even means. Hey, what movies are on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and other sites where there's movie reviews? Letterboxd, what are those reviews looking like? Well, we have one for Beau is Afraid, and that's it for the last several months. Oh, really? Well, what about Fast 10 or the Super Mario Brothers movie? Oh, no, those aren't made for critics. Those have a sticker on them that says not for critics, so. What about The Little Mermaid? Nope, not for critics either. It's a very fine line. When they submit a movie, it says for critics. Fast 10 is the best, says Harper. Rufus says, I can confirm that they said family about 436 times. That's funny. You are wrong because family. That's fair. That's a fair criticism. Got to turn your brain off to enjoy the film. Yep. If I would have said, hey, you got to turn your brain off to enjoy the film, people would have been mad about that too. If you disliked the movies at the start, then you don't have the rights to give a negative review to others about the movie. It's very, very deep right there. Very profound and very stupid. What if you liked the movies from the start, but then they got progressively worse? Or what if some of the movies weren't great, and then somewhere in the middle they made them good, and then they got bad again? At which point can you be a critic? I feel like it's either all the time or all of the time, because everyone's a critic at the end of the day. Hill Train? Shill Train? I don't know what that means. I don't know if I'm missing something. This is my favorite comment. Vin Diesel read the script for Infinity War and Endgame and quietly said, "Hold my corona." That's good. That's good. All right, we'll stop there. Oh, we have one more set of videos. This one won't take long. So this movie I saw with a buddy, Matt. We went last week. It was the last Monday secret movie. Monday movie, mystery movie. Fuck me. They're never good. They're never good. I don't know why I go. I guess I hate myself. This one was Kandahar, I think is what it's called. It was so boring, empty, and lifeless. I should have known it was going to be bad because Gerard Butler's in there, the most disappointing actor in Hollywood. The guy that was in 300 and was badass. And I thought, this is going to be the dude. This is going to be our guy. And then he would go on to do a series of terrible rom-coms. Just and like Gamer and just terrible movies. I heard the Olympus Has Fallen series is okay. I never even cared to watch them. And I'm a big action movie guy. They didn't do anything for me. This movie is just bad. I'm sorry. It's all around uninteresting. They try to have emotional character moments, but you don't have any connection to these people. It's all just very kind of on the nose, lame storytelling. Anyway, here's some comments on it. This dude says, glad this guy never made it. Hopefully he stops reviewing movies. Maybe review fast food joints? That would suit him better. Glad this guy never made what? What does that mean? Made it in Hollywood? I never auditioned for a role in anything. Never made it on YouTube as a movie critic? What is making it to people? 100,000 subscribers? Million? 10 million? I get paid to do a fun movie review hobby. Certified on Rotten Tomatoes. At one point, Watch Mojo put me on the top 10 most underrated YouTube channels. Not most underrated movie channels, just channels on YouTube, full stop. I was on there. And I was number 10 on that list. So even on the most underrated list, I was the most underrated. Still, I just can't get over that still. I remember when it happened it was probably like 6 years ago now. People were messaging me, Adam, you're on Watch Mojo. They never contacted me or anything. And sure enough, there I was. That's funny. But no, I didn't make it. He's right. I haven't made it. We're still trying to make it. It's a good movie. Entertainment comes at a cost. However, lighten up. What? It's a good movie. Entertainment comes at a cost. Those are sentences. However, lighten up. Throw a comma in there next time. Secondly, what does that mean? Entertainment comes at a cost? What was the cost? And however, lighten up. Shut up. At some point I dozed off. Yeah, I was almost there, Elvis. Movie is phenomenal. A must see. No, it's not. It's a must not see. The movie's not phenomenal. I just got back from it and sadly agree. But there was some half decent moments, but a lot it felt stale for sure. This is just gibberish. I just got back from it and I sadly agree with it, but there was some half decent moments, but a lot it felt stale for sure. We're all dumb. We're all just completely dumb now. And then Ryan says, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Okay. Why is Ryan responding to this guy? What's this? What's the connection here? I thought it was fabulous, says Starbright. Okay, well, and then there's nicer comments at the bottom by actual people that follow me. Wow. What a treat. What a treat. I'm going to take a break. We're now at the Super Chat Q&A portion, or just talk for a little bit. It's 11:44 here. Again, pretty late. I know I missed some, so let's jump in. Let's see what we got. I think I missed 2. I will not be able to say this name. Shirzad Khan City. Maybe. Shirzad Khan City for a $4.99 super chat says, thoughts on 3D versions being phased out. Specifically, that Apple VR on the horizon will promote 3D media apps. I'm not sure what you mean. You don't need a super chat. Could you just clarify? Do you mean 3D movies are being phased out? I don't have 3D, but I thought it was really cool in the first Avatar. Avatar 2, I felt it was a little underwhelming with the 3D stuff that time around. It didn't hit the same way. And nothing ever really lived up to Avatar outside of Gravity. Gravity was freaking phenomenal in 3D. They just never got it in homes properly. It was the cost to get it into homes was too high. You each had to have your own glasses. They were really expensive. It was just too boutique. It was too niche. I champion any sort of, 3D, more ensconced in entertainment that you can get. If I have to put on a full bodysuit and I'm feeling like punches and kicks, I'll do it. I will absolutely do a full body VR experience. Get some mist in there, feel like I'm underwater. Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in on that. Charizard, as far as it being phased out, it just makes sense financially because they never did it right. Especially Apple VR on the horizon will promote 3D apps. These sentences conflict for me. I don't know. You're saying it's phased out, but also that Apple VR will promote 3D media apps. Yeah, clarify if you're still there. Jan Rose says, don't worry, Adam. Don't let these haters get to you. You're doing great. We love what you're doing. I'm just having a laugh at it, Jan. They're not going to get to me. I've been doing this too long and have been called every name under the sun. I appreciate the support, though. Always appreciate the support. Okay, Shirzad says, yes, 3D movies, they are amazing in VR. Really? I would imagine so. I said years ago when VR was really kind of coming into its own for the third time around. We've had VR versions and 3D versions since Jaws 3D, probably prior to that. The way they could implement these, the implementations seemed so grandiose if they did it right. For instance, the thing I kept thinking of, and this is coming from someone that doesn't watch sports. Love playing sports, don't watch them. But imagine a scenario where there were cameras inside of the football players' helmets. Each football player had a camera hooked in. Unintrusive. Those helmets are huge. They got room. And we don't worry about the concussions. That's okay. They're fine. Cameras on the players so that when you have VR on, you have the ability to see the player's POV, and there could be a toggle. You could switch between whatever lineman you wanted. You could jump into the wide angle shot. You could have frame by frame. And the fact that you just look around and you're basically seeing what the player's seeing would be insane, wouldn't it? You got the lineman there, and then you can turn your head and see the guy next to him, guy on that side, the opposing player. It would be such a rush. It would be the ultimate experience, a game of Madden in real time with real athletes. And you could see that happening throughout all the different sporting events to some degree or another. But I don't know. Obviously the tech's not there, the support's not there, and getting that into a household for each individual to use, it's just too boutique. It's too expensive, and people aren't going to jump on it, unfortunately. But man, you could see it at least for the rich people, the people that have money to blow on this kind of stuff. They could even add a subscription service to it. You want to be part of the NFL? You want to be part of the NFL? Strap in. Strap on, because you're going in the game. EA Sports, it's in the game, is what they say. Now you are. So, I mean, as far as movies go, movie experiences, I could only imagine how cool those look with that VR 3D look to it. Man, it would be... It's a shame, but I have a feeling that it's just a little premature still, and it always seems to be, but maybe in 5 or 10 more years, they really get things where they need to be. Or we're all chipped, and then it's all just shot right into our brains. Oh my god, I'm just knocking stuff over. If there's any other questions, fire them at me now. I will say, I was very happy to see... Let me bring this up really quick. I was very happy to see the video I posted today. Doing really good. Doing really solid numbers for the channel. It's already got almost 3,500 views on my end. In the back end, I see the views in real time. This was honestly a filler video. I posted a video, movie criticism is a dying art. It's a dying breed. Movie critics are dying. It was honestly a filler video because I didn't have a lot of content for this week. Tomorrow I have a review for Kung Fu Hustle. Because my son Connor and I just watched it. I knew he would like it. He's big into anime. And I thought, well, if I'm watching it, I might as well do a quick review. So I have a review for that coming tomorrow that I have to edit. But this Movie Critics Are Dead video, it's like 13 minutes long. Basically just me ranting and raving about how it's really hard to criticize certain things now because everything has been turned into a franchise that has its own hardcore fan base. And as soon as, well, you saw my Fast 10 review, even if you point out obvious issues, even if they're intentional issues, just pointing them out will trigger people like no end. They'll just be like, how dare you? Shut up, hater, bias, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, form a thought. See different viewpoints. Understand where someone's coming from. My favorite movie or a movie I like might be something that my buddy, my best friend doesn't. And we don't just call each other names or call each other stupid. We might for fun, but we'll back that up with actual arguments. It all goes back to, when I started the show over a decade ago with my buddy Corey at work. He was a coworker, and we debated over a few movies. And we were good friends. We just had polite discussion. And sometimes the occasional ribbing about how they're dumb for liking it. But it was always just in good jest, right? That's like lost now. But the reason we had those debates and the reason we started the channel was because of that discussion. It's like, let's do a show. Let's argue with each other. Let's spark some commentary in the comments, some discourse. And now we've just spiraled down into complete pathetic gatekeeping and my side versus your side. It's just sad. So yeah, I did a video on that and I was very happy to see the numbers. It was like, okay, well, I thought that was going to do just mediocre, but people seem to, I guess people are in agreement. They've been seeing that too, which is nice. Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle tomorrow. Hopefully, then we're on Thursday, so then we'll have I forgot the name of it, Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider World. Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and then Part 2. I'll have that review. And then, what do we have Friday? Oh, my review for, what the hell's this movie called? Zulu? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Zulu, 1964. I watched this movie 2 days ago. I'm not going to lie, I was dreading watching this film because it's from 1964. I definitely have age bias on films. I know the ones that I've seen, the classics that I've seen, but it's not a lot, and that's by design. I don't want to go back that far and watch movies that have poor sound quality, fake backdrops. They're really just coming into their own, trying to figure things out still. I like to live in the 80s and 90s. I'm familiar. I'm comfortable there. Even the 70s. That said, Zulu. Not a bad film. I got some good things to say about that movie. It won me over. At first, I'm sitting here like, I don't want to. I don't want it. And then a half hour in, I'm thinking, damn, okay, I'm actually into this. So yeah, I appreciate requests like this. I'm not gonna lie. I might turn my head and say, oh God, really? We can't do something more fun, people? We can't have more fun with these picks? But on the other hand, it's really kind of broadening my palette, broadening my horizon. So on the same time, I appreciate it a lot. And if you don't know, because I haven't said it enough times, you can request a movie for me to review on Patreon or at YouTube via the join button and become a member. The Mithril membership is $30 a month. You can do it one time and then bounce. And I will review the movie that you want me to. I'll give you a shout out on the video. And you basically get 2 hours of work for me to watch, plus another 2 hours of me to film, and another hour, not 2 hours to film, 40 minutes for me to film, another hour for me to edit and post and everything. So yeah, you're getting a lot of labor for $30. Plus you get the shout out on top of it. So you get to feel cool and special because a cool, special person is shouting you out. It's like the greatest thing in the world. Not really, but it helps my channel a lot when I get those supporters at that level. And if you stay with me for the year, you get up to 4 movie requests. I'm doing my best to stay on top of them. I'm doing okay right now. I try to, if you sign up, I'm giving like a 3-month window. So if Mary signs up in January, February, March, by March I'll have the review done, or sooner. And sometimes I push them ahead. I'll jump over one if there's something that I'm actually really interested in. So don't say anything, but sometimes I'll jump ahead if something catches my fancy. Or it's more timely on the channel. It seems like probably a good place of any to stop. Oh my God. Raihan Gill says, can't wait for the Succession series review. Shit. Should I do? I suppose I did watch it. I watched the Succession finale. I should probably review the whole season. Okay, thank you for bringing that up. I don't know how to say the name. Rihan. I will make a note of that right now, actually. Let me open my Drive document and get it in there. Succession season review. And then we have Across the Spider-Verse. And then we have Zulu. Okay. And we have Kung Fu Hustle. So we got stuff. We got stuff coming up. We got stuff baking. Oh yeah, thank you, Bubba. Last thing I'm going to say, $10. $10 a month on Patreon or YouTube join. You can only do it for 1 month if you want. But right now, I have just put up quite arguably the best homemade movie saga ever created ever. The Water Wars saga. There's 4 movies. They're around 45 minutes each. All written, shot, directed, and acted by me. Acting is questionable, but some of my buddies are great. A lot of friends, a lot of family in them. I look back on them fondly, even if they're very rough around the edges. They're comedies, they're action, they're everything. They're everything you can imagine being shot in 2 days on no budget. But I put in heart and soul into these things, and I'm very proud of them. All 4 of them are now uploaded to YouTube and to Patreon. I will warn you, if you are a YouTube member, you have to be a gold member. It's $10. You can do it once, watch them all, and be done with it, or even download them, depending on what you're watching it on. I will warn you, if you are a YouTube member, you might not have access to it. Because of all the blocking of copyrighted songs, every one of them's flagged, and it's not going to show up in some countries or territories or whatever. If that's the case, and you really want to see them, and you are a gold member, please let me know on Discord at Adam Does Movies. Just send me a message, say, Adam, I'm a member. I don't have access to these because YouTube sucks. And I will get you a link to the Patreon. Because Patreon, they're embedded in there. Apparently they don't care about copyright stuff. So everybody can see them there. I know that it's going to be an issue for like one person. All right. Dieter says, what's the ruckus this early morning? Oh, Adam's still good. Good morning, Dieter. Armand Sharma says, do you think Across the Spider-Verse will be as good as the first? I already answered that. Sharma. I don't, but I hope so. Okay, I'm going to end there. It's midnight, and I'm tuckered out. I have a Succession review to do tomorrow, along with all the other things I listed off. Thank you for joining the live stream. If you're just joining now, sorry, I got to close up shop. It's getting late. And yeah, we will do this again Friday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I was 10 minutes late today, but not too bad. We usually start right around the time I say I'm going to start, and then you add 10 minutes to that. So 10:30, we'll be here. We'll make it happen. And until then, thank you very much for the support. Now we end. I'm going to hit the button right now.